We have heard a lot about Vladimir Putin recently in the news, but few know his story. Hi, is knowledge, and you are watching the story of Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin. Begins in 1952 in St. Petersburg, in Russia, rather in Leningrad, because that's how we still have to remember the city at the time. His father, Vladimir Spiridonov Beach, Putin fought in the Red Army camp, of course, then became workers again after the victory against Nazi Germany. Like many soldiers called up by Stalin, his mother, Maria Ivanovna Putin, had much the same background as her husband, having survived the turmoil of the Second World War, and then joined the Workers' Corps at the Leningrad railway plant. The austerity known to Putin. It is probably forged very early. His parents lived the war in their flesh. The siege of Leningrad, the bombs, the looting, the deaths, they educated to never forget his parents. Vladimir Putin frequented them closely. The Putin family lives in a communal apartment CE. That is to say, a dwelling that the common rooms are shared between several famine, like the bathroom, the kitchen, the toilets. The privacy of the Putin family is then limited to one room, a bedroom, in which the young Vladimir and his parents sleep on makeshift mattresses. It is in the snowy streets of Leningrad that Vladimir will forge the first weapons of his education. His childhood friends are the thugs of the city, the Putin gang. They drink vodka, 10 years, smoke it. He's fighting. He's a turbulent child who is promised no future. It's time he pulls himself together. So they say that two people are going to play a fundamental role in putting the little rascal back on the right path towards Abu Revich, professor of the German of Vladimir, who detected in him a singular energy which will make a cultivated young man who will be able to meet the expectations of the power in place by taking him under his wing. The professor takes the young boy to the museum and introduces him to classical music and Russian literature. And the second person is his judo teacher, who is often contacted by the men of the KGB, the main intelligence service of the USSR, to provide two young recruits. Vladimir's fighting instinct makes him a good element. He knows fighting. Practicing judo, chonani, has nothing to do with dancing. It is a Russian combat sport and wants to become a spy. It is also said that it is the series The 17 Moments of Spring, which staged a sort of Soviet James Bond, who would have forged the first dreams of espionage of the young Vladimir Rico. The end of his adolescence, I did not skate, so passed from all to all, thug formed his mind. His rigor, his body game, will soon be ready to work for Soviet intelligence. But hey, we quickly let him know that it might not be enough. It's not enough to be muscular and cultured to join the corridors of power. You also need technical and administrative knowledge. Vladimir Putin was 18 when he joined the law school. From Leningrad in 1970, a course during which he will discover the political philosophy to take from German and will write a thesis on international commercial law. And 5 years later, here he is graduates trained by the secret services, opens the doors to him, finally opens the doors. To him doors, we could rather say that the KGB opens the door to him, because to obtain responsibilities at the heart of the cogs of the party, you prove yourself, it is a fairly long job. We then place him at the bottom of the hierarchy of the secret services in counter-espionage. He therefore remains in Leningrad, where the headquarters of the KGB is located, and his daily life is far from his childhood dreams in which they saw themselves. James Red Band. Bureaucratic boredom overcomes him. He is given secondary tasks. Local is alone in kisses. Task lasts several years. It is at this time in 1983 that Vladimir Putin marries Lyudmila after 3.5 years of relationship. Once the ring on the finger, she discovers that her husband is a spy. She who thought that he works in the criminal police. And despite this revelation that by common in a couple, a Sheriff Chu spy, they have 2 daughters, Maria and Ekaterina, at 32 years old. All the stars are aligned for Vladimir Putin, who obtains the rank of commander and is sent to the Andropov Institute, called the Flag Institute, Red KGB University in Moscow. For a year, the young commander in train or sweetened state to become a spy under the code name Playoffs. Once graduated, the KGB leaders warn him, Commander Putin must prepare immediately for leaving Russia to conduct external espionage operations. Putin is delighted now. What will be his destination? Paris, London, New York, and not Vladimir. Putin is sent to Dresden in East Germany, territory controlled by the RSA. It is a disappointment for the ambitious spy that he is, but he remains positive Vladimir Putin leaves Russia. His main objective is achieved, their suitcases, carefully prepared, Vladimir, Ludmilla, and the small parts for Germany. We are then in August 1985 and the official mission.